I want to
All right.
start our Week 5 live dogs conversation with the team that we talked about in that clip. The Jaguars, they're now a favorite. They're a field goal favorite at home, desperate for a victory. But I'm looking at the Colts and I'm looking at the possibility of Joe Flacco and the connection that he had with those receivers immediately, much more than what Anthony Richardson had, as he's just been turning the ball over all season, happened right away without even a week of prep. If it is Flacco, I love the Colts. I think they're live. I expect Jacksonville to be 0-4. Anybody with me?
I'm with you. I got a question on Twitter about 10 minutes ago, and I love this handle.
Yeah.
The handle is at I'm a dumb question. That's literally the handle.
I've
Could
seen
be a
that handle.
troll,
Yeah.
might not be a troll. I don't know. He says
No,
at
it's not.
SP Shoot, what line movement, if any, would you expect on Indianapolis Jacksonville if Flacco is in instead of Richardson? And I thought about it for the 40 seconds I had to think about it, and I don't think there's a drop off at all. I'm not willing to say that they're better with Flacco from a number standpoint, but they do things with Flacco they can't do with Richardson. And when I say that, I'm talking about protecting the football, throwing accurate short passes, and taking care of the football. Now, there are things Richardson can do that Flacco could never do. And we all understand that. The physicality side of it, the powering through the line, the quarterback wham, the roll outside and turn up field. No, Flacco can't do that. But Anthony Richardson, heading into last week, was leading the league in interceptions. So
Mhm.
if you're a Colts team with the best offensive line maybe in football, your job is simple: possess the football, run the ball with success, and win the time of possession. And they're going to do that with Joe Flacco more than they'll do that with Anthony Richardson in his young career. So I don't know who's going to start. I haven't seen anything. Has there been any breaking news on Richardson? I haven't seen it yet. If there has been, please correct me. But from what I can
No.
gather, we don't know who's going to start this game. And at this point in his career, I'm more nervous about backing Richardson than I am with the backup, Joe Flacco, because there's stability there. There's a calmness there. He's got a Super Bowl ring. This guy doesn't panic when they're down 7 or 10 points. And I still think in Anthony Richardson's very young NFL career, there is some aggressiveness that maybe doesn't need to happen in the second quarter, early in the third quarter. So to answer that question, I don't think there's really any movement from Richardson to Flacco. I think it's even. I think it's a wash.
But for me, I'm not making that bet with Richardson. Not right now. With the way that he's playing, he probably wouldn't be 100% on the road. Uh, Very little experience. I'm making that bet with Flacco, and it could be an 0-4 start. Jacksonville with another divisional matchup after getting heartbroken a little bit on the road. They were oh so close against the Texans. Now they come back home, and the pressure is getting ratcheted up. They're asking Doug about his job security. He doesn't understand why. Oh, I don't know. Maybe because the owner said this is the best team in franchise history and you're winless after a month. So Colts stood out to me. Throw one out there, Sammy. Oh boy, I think there's going to be a post-it. What do you have for a live dog?
Well, it's not the Rams. That's for sure. They are not
I know that.
alive. Quite literally a dead dog. 456 Cincinnati. I will be on the Bengals here. I will tease them up through 3, 7, and 8. We are seeing some threes pop, but then the threes go away. So there are only, let's see, one. There's only one. There's 1 3 right now in the market.
hmm
You got two and a
hmm
half basically everywhere, and it's a
that
juice
just
two and a half.
that just went to 2.5. By the way.
Yeah. So 2.5 at BetMGM, but you got to lay minus 115. That tells me how much respect the books have for Cincinnati in this spot. They're not quite going to 3, and they're taxing the 2.5. We saw this last week. Very similar situation when Pittsburgh got to 2.5, but not quite 3 against Indy, and Indy wins the game outright. These expensive 2.5s to me have always looked like bait. And I'm not saying that's what the books are doing, but that's how I've always felt. When I see a home dog at plus 2.5, plus 105, I'm thinking that team's going to win just because of the positioning of the line. I could be wrong, but that's how I feel. So give me a chance to take that offense up through 3, 7, and 8. Baltimore had the win of its season on Sunday night, and there will be a wave of people, Joe, that didn't want to bet Baltimore on Sunday night. They wanted to take 2.5, 3, ironically enough, with
Yep.
Buffalo. Now they're going to lay 2.5 on the road with Baltimore and think, oh, well, Cincinnati sucks. Cincinnati's 1-3. Baltimore's really good now, I think. And the Bengals are going to win. So I'll play Cincy teaser. I'll play them on the money line. And I have 2 post-it notes for you. I wrote this down yesterday, but we ran out of time in the segment. This is the post-it parlay right here. It is the
Yeah, that's right.
Cincy and Green Bay money line at plus 243. That is, I believe, a very good bet given the price and given the fact that we get to bet against a very sexy Ravens team, and we get to bet against the Rams. What's better than that?
I like it. I'm not scared of that one. Okay. Let me throw out another. Here's another short dog. Same range. Lot of 2.5 to 3s out there this week. Everyone's going to fade the Cowboys, right? Should we be fading the Cowboys? You want to back the Steelers as a dog, but do you want to back the Steelers as a favorite? I know about the injuries. Lawrence is out. Parsons is out. Decimated, right? Cowboys defense. Oh, I'm sorry. You're scared of Justin Fields? Is that what you're telling me? The Steelers are almost a field goal favorite against the Dallas Cowboys because, the Justin Fields offense is going against a beat-up Cowboys defense? Please, stop it. It wouldn't surprise me if the Cowboys go there and win. As explosive as that offense is, I know the Steelers' defense is tough, but I want Tomlin getting points. I don't want Tomlin laying points. I think the Cowboys are a live dog, and people are just chalking that up for a loss because of the injuries on defense. I don't think that plays a major factor here, Sam.
You need an early start, though, from Dallas. I think you would admit that.
Yeah.
You need Dallas to take an early lead because if Pittsburgh goes up 10-0, it's going to be a lot tougher because everything changes. If they can Wisconsin it up or Illinois it up, Pittsburgh could easily win the game. And that's not really a bold statement. They're a 2.5-point favorite. But the big issue I have with Pittsburgh, atop of the issue that you just mentioned, they're laying points. They can't
Nope.
catch up. They just can't. They don't have the ability. They don't have the playmakers. They don't have the offense to erase a 14-0 deficit. I don't believe. So let me run this back to you. What about a Dallas first half bet as opposed to the full game bet? Is there a difference in opinion on that? I mean, they seem sort of correlated. If you like Dallas early, you like them late, but then you have to avoid, or you get to avoid, the Mike McCarthy melt in the third and fourth quarter. I feel like if you're betting Dallas, you're banking on them to get out to a lead early, and you would look at them maybe in the first half. Am I onto something there or no?
Coaching is certainly advantage Pittsburgh. There is no doubt about that one. And does the extra prep time help Dallas? Because last time we saw them, that was in the Thursday game this past week. Not quite sure. Yeah, I could see it. But then you're also saying that you want to back Fields late. Are we there yet? He's playing better late in games, and we saw nearly a comeback this past weekend. I don't know that I'm there yet. If he's trailing, do you trust him not to turn the ball over? Tomlin's done a good job with it so far, but I'm fine full game. I'm all right with it, but I understand where you're coming from as far as game script. Pittsburgh down, that's going to lead to some turnovers from that quarterback.
I learned this a long time ago going on these Vegas visits, and you and I have been to Vegas together, so it's not like you don't know this either. But I remember we had a conversation with Chris Andrews one year about these second half lines and these first quarter lines, about how they don't exactly do it on purpose, but they're okay when a team is minus the half and minus the one, because it looks so easy for the average person to go, oh, all they have to do is win. And the first half line in Pittsburgh, Dallas is Pittsburgh minus the hook, minus 115. And guess who's
Mm.
going to win in a 7-7 tie or a 10-10 tie? That Cowboys side plus the hook. There are two numbers that terrify me in second half college basketball and second half football, pro and college. When I see a team -1 or minus a half, I run for the freaking hills because I know something's up. There's a reason
Yep.
it's minus a half and not pick, or there's a reason it's -1 and not -2. Those minus halves and -1s on the halftime line and the first half line are terrifying. And I've learned the hard way over 15 years of doing this. Those minus halves are not free spaces. They never are.
Anything else that you want to throw out there for a live dog? I've got a couple I'm considering, not as strong as Colts Cowboys.
Here you go, buddy. Right there.
Oh, still like it
Tampa
after
Bay.
the move?
I do. Yep, I do. They're gonna win.
Okay.
They're gonna win. I'm not convinced. It was 2.5, a number that I hate. Would I like 2.5 more than 1.5? Sure. I remember
Yeah.
saying on Monday this game might close 1. It went to 1.5 on Tuesday, and here we sit a day before kickoff. Tampa Bay, a very small 1.5 point dog. I will be on the Tampa Bay Bucks here. I know our guy Ian McMillan does not want to hear that. You got to do what you got to do. There are no ones yet, but there's a chance we see Atlanta 1 or maybe a pick 'em heading into tomorrow night. I will be betting this Tampa side tomorrow. I will. I promise you.